Guys, it's Heavenly Slayer here, and back with my first What If. What if Naruto was neglected? Part 1. For for the beginning of Naruto, the QB attack still happens like normal. But this time, the third Hokage is the one who sacrifices his life instead of the fourth Hokage. And Kushina has twins, Naruto and Naruko. Naruto becomes the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, and the village is safe. Now we time skip 5 years later. A little blonde boy was running away from the mob of fork, sticks, and torches. Die, demon, the people said, and other various similar things were said to the boy. The boy had tan skin and bright blonde hair. He was covered in bruises and cuts. He ran as fast as he could, but there is only so much that a 5-year-old could do, so they finally caught up and beat him up. October 10 was the QB festival, as others like to call it, the fox hunt. They were literally hunting this man. His script is... dang. They were literally hunting Naruto. That sucks. Damn. Well, this is a what if. Okay. Everybody on the little boy's birthday, he would undergo the same thing. Not that they didn't beat him every day, but this day was always the worst. Probably was. Being the Jinchuriki of the QB, the boy was seen as the demon itself in human form. This boy was the son of the fourth Hokage and the red habanero. Habanero? And yet never treated him any better than the villagers. While their son was getting beaten by the villagers, they were celebrating their daughter's 5th birthday at the festival, not aware of someone missing. After the beating was over, the boy had enough. He didn't want to live anymore. He hated the village, his sister, especially his parents, never believing him of the villagers' harassment. He took one of the kunai that was laying there and implanted to the limped to then deserted park. If nobody wants me, then I'll grant their wish, he said aloud. He took the kunai and went to stab himself in the neck, only to be stopped by a girl. She was shocked that a little boy his age was thinking about committing suicide. What do you think you're doing? Why do you want to kill yourself? She asked. The looked at her in shock as well. He wasn't expecting anyone to be there, let alone stop him from killing himself. This village wants me dead, don't you know? So don't stop me and leave me alone, said Naruto. Sorry, but I might be new to this village, but why do they hate you? Said the woman. You look like a sweet little boy who wouldn't harm anyone. Can you please tell me? The girl pleaded. The girl was no older than 9 years old. She had wanted to talk to him. She actually cared about him. He looked at her and started to cry. She held him, and he felt warm, something he had never felt before. So he told her about his family and the villagers, and said that he didn't know why the villagers called him a demon while his sister was seen as a hero. He told her that he wanted them to train him along with his sister, but was always declined. He would always be locked out and left out of everything. After he finished, he looked at the girl, who was at tears due to his story. She couldn't believe that such a sweet-looking boy went through so much. When he saw her tears, he only cried more. She's crying for me. No one ever did that, he thought. Do you want to be friends? He asked, hoping to have gained a friend, but looked devastated when she shook her head no, but brightened up when she said, no, we won't be friends, we'll be family. What is this, Dump Toretto? By the way, I never got your name. My name's Miley? My name is Naruto Namikaze. Wait, Namikaze as in the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze? Asked Miley. Are you his son? She asked again. He nodded. She was beyond shocked that the villagers would treat the leader's child like that, and more that the Hokage was neglecting his son for his daughter. It took a lot of persuasion room Naruto so she wouldn't go and rile up the village. Well, since they hardly noticed whether or not you're there, why not come to my place? I'll leave a shadow clone at your house, transformed as you, and keep my chakra low to avoid suspicion. She looked at Naruto, who was fidgeting as if he wanted to say something. If you want to say something, anything for that matter, you can ask me. I'm your older sister now, aren't I? Said Miley. Smiling brightly, he asked, I just wanted to ask if I could call you Nichan. Bro, why is he so nervous in this? Instead of Miley, she nodded in approval. Then he continued, and if you could train, are you really strong? He looked at her, waiting for a reply. Bro, where I come from, everyone sees me as the strongest, and of course I train you. Now come, let's go home. He looked at her with confusion. My home is yours now, as well. Remember? Miley said. He nodded. She made a shadow clone, which then transformed into Naruto and went home. She and the real Naruto, Shushin, to her house, and what he saw was too much for a 5-year-old, taken all at once. Alright guys, I'll get some water and be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Alright, in front of him was the most beautiful mansion that could ever be created. He looked in awe as they welcomed them in the front. As they came into the huge house, some of the maids and butlers looked at the poor boy covered in bandages and asked his sister if they should clean him up. She refused, saying that she was going to do it herself, but instead asked for a bath to be ready for him, as well as a set of new clothes. He didn't say a word, but was still absorbing the fact that his new older sister was super rich. Damn, Miley, you rich? Surprised? Said Miley. Don't be. Like I said, this is your house as well, okay? Miley said again. She said and received a nod from a still shocked little boy. Then she gathered all the maids and butlers and said, Now I want you all to listen to me. This is Naruto, and he is now my younger brother. So I want everyone to show him respect, okay? Said Miley. They nodded, showing their understanding, and then left. A maid came up to her and told her that her father was out and said won't be back in about week's time. She nodded and turned her attention to Naruto. She said, Come on, I need to clean and heal you better. What I did at the park wasn't enough. She picked him up in her arms and then went to one of the rooms. As he looked inside, it was the largest room he had ever seen, but wasn't shocked as earlier, deducing that everything in the house was big. He finally decided to ask as she cleaned his wounds. Nichan, can you tell me more about yourself? Everyone here looks at you with respect, and they look sincerely happy and kind people. Now Naruto was a smart boy for his age. It just wasn't noticed by anyone. She laughed and asked, Well, what do you want to know? Why were you at the village even though you don't live there? Well then, I guess I should tell you everything, huh? Said Miley. Well, first off, have you ever heard of the legend of League of Assassins? This is going somewhere now. He shook his head no. Then she continued, Well, see, this league is a group of warriors that kill, assassinate people who the world would be better off without. My father is the leader of the league, known as Raz Al Ghul, meaning the demon head. As his daughter, I am the heirs to the demon. The league is greatly feared by the 5 nations, and since they don't have alliance with one another, they know they can't beat the league alone. Now, when I was about 3 years old, my mother, known as Shurinshin, passed away from a horrible disease. Her final wish for me to live in the hidden leaf and live a normal life that didn't involve with fighting battles. My grandfather, which you have to first promise me that you won't tell a soul. I promise I won't tell anyone, said Naruto. Well, he's the 3rd Hokage. Hiruzen Sarutobi. And so he was able to pull some strings for me to get in. I lived in the village for about a year. Maybe my grandfather was so kind and I was able to meet the rest of the family. You see, my father never liked the way of the leaf and evermore hated shinobi, so he left the village and he declared a missing nen. He was then exiled from the clan, not that he cared, thought, and so started the league. Life was going great until the fateful day the 9-tailed fox attacked the village. So in order to to save it, he sacrificed his life by sealing it into a child who I don't know. After that, since the village was unstable, my father brought me back, and I started to train in order to become stronger. I guess you could say I blamed myself for not saving my grandfather, and that's my story. She looked at the who she just finished healing. I'm really sorry for your loss. Both your mom and your granddad sound like nice people, but why are you returning now? Said Naruto. Well, to be honest, I never really technically left. I'm still allowed into the village. I guess it's because I wanted to get stronger on my own. I don't know if you know, but they don't teach you anything useful at the academy. You're going in 4 years, right? Yup. That's when my so-called parents said that I wouldn't be able to start my training, but you're going to help me now, right? Of course, these 4 years will be filled with hellish training, but sweet, relaxing baths. Delicious meals afterwards. Our chefs cooked the best meals ever. They both giggled, and then there was a knock on the door. Miley went to answer it, as it turned out to be a maid saying that the bath was ready, and handed her Naruto's new set of clothes. Come on, our bath is ready. He looked at her in embarrassment. Then she understood. Don't worry, we're siblings, and still young. This is getting weird. This is some Alabama shit. We haven't matured yet, so it's alright. If you're not comfortable, it's okay. He shook his head, and then they took a bath, put their new clothes on, and then went to sleep in her bed. Ooh, in her bed. It was the first time in his life that Naruto felt safe, at peace, and loved. Well, that would be it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and subscribe, and like, and share. Let's get 5 likes for the next video, or how many ever likes. I don't care. I'll make the second part soon enough. So, goodbye.